episode of podcast Popcorn and Possibilities. Oh, I'm your host, Brian. How are you, Steph? How are you doing today?
Oh, God. Better now. That just made the whole night for me. Oh,
As soon as
Lord.
I heard Mrs. Doubtfire's voice, I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta
It was
throw it out
excellent.
there. We're kind of in this in-between Halloween and Thanksgiving. And next one is going to be the Thanksgiving horror movie. So we're going to give that a whirl for the old Thanksgiving holiday. Because there's not really too many Thanksgiving movies that I can think of. I don't know. I don't know what it is about Thanksgiving that it's just it gets the Harry Potter in the closet.
And it's funny because, like, we are a culture who loves to gather with loved ones and eat and drink and be lazy. And, like, that is the vibe of Thanksgiving, man. It's like big meal that starts early in the day. You know, if you're a football person, you're probably watching football on Thanksgiving Day. And, you know, just being around the people you care about the most. And I don't know. In concept, it's the perfect holiday. It really is. Because there's also not that added stress of, like, I gotta buy gifts, and will people like what I bought them, and what if they don't? And, you know, that can be a very stressful endeavor if you are someone who is in a position where you're shopping for people that maybe you don't know super well, or maybe they have super specific taste. And just the stress of the deadline of, I have to have everything purchased, wrapped, my cards have to be written out, everything's got to be done by this one set day, or, you know, for Hanukkah it's one set week, or whatever it is that you're celebrating. It can be very stressful. It's a very stressful time of year for people. And, you know, this plays into some of the themes we're going to get into when we unpack Mrs. Doubtfire, but there's also, and this is true for Thanksgiving and really most holidays, there's also the layer of, if you know, if you're dealing with loss of some kind in a family, be it, you know, separation from someone you love, or loss of someone you love, or if you have a strained relationship with your family, like, sometimes from Thanksgiving forward is just a very dark and depressing time of year for people. So I totally get that aspect too. Like, Thanksgiving, I feel, is particularly tough for those type of emotions or feelings, or things you have to navigate through, because, you know, you think of Christmas, you think of ugly sweater parties and white elephant with your friends and stuff. Thanksgiving often is all about family. And, you know, for some people, that's the family you choose. That's your friends. That's, you know, anyone who you love and value and who means something to you. But it can also kick up those feelings of, you know, resentment or longing or loss or whatever it is, if you're going through something with your actual, like, generic family, I'll say.
I don't know. I mean, I do think not having the Friday off, I mean, some people's jobs do, but
I do.
Not just having it off. I do think that plays into it, especially also, like, if you work a retail job, you're most likely working that Friday.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Which I don't know if you've ever had, but it is not.
I have.
Not a fun
It's not
time
fun
to work.
Nope. No, it's not.
And there's no time and a half, so it's like,
right.
It was brutal.
I used to volunteer every retail job I ever worked. I'd be like, put me on the earliest possible shift you have. I don't care if I have to be here at 1 o'clock in the morning, because, like, I would work a 1 to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and then I'd be out before the absolute chaos of the late comers. And it was actually nice, because if you get out at 6, 7 a.m., you go home, you go to sleep for a couple hours, and you still have the whole day. And I feel, you know what's so interesting about Black Friday? First of all, I'm so glad that a lot of stores and companies have stopped doing that thing where they start Black Friday at like 5 or 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day. That was an absolutely criminal thing to do. Like, drag people in to work on Thanksgiving night. Like, realistically, who was coming in? Come on.
Yeah, I never did that. I mean, I've done, like, early, like opened at 5
Yeah.
a.m. Like I've done that.
Yeah. But what's been so fascinating now, I'm out of retail now, so I'm not living it and breathing it like I used to. But I have to imagine that online shopping and like Cyber Monday and all of those types of deals have radically changed Black Friday and the way it looks, because that used to be an event for people, was lining up and camping out, sleeping outside of stores to get the doorbuster deals. Whereas
Yeah.
now, if you wait until Cyber Monday or if you log into your computer super early, you can accomplish the same exact thing and you don't have to worry that someone's going to like punch you in the face while you're trying to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever done it where like you went at like 5 a.m. to get like something? No.
Nope. I've only done it from the perspective of being an employee,
Got it.
to go out that early. There has never been anything that I wanted for myself or that I had on my list to buy for someone else that I needed to be out that early trying to scour for it.
Would you
Why?
ever?
Well, that must
No.
mean you have something that sent you out that early.
Nothing big. Nothing big. I mean, I've back when like the Beats by Dre headphones were
Okay.
big, I went
Yeah.
out and got that. I've gotten like a winter jacket. Nothing crazy. You know, like when you're working the retail jobs, you're like, this sucks. I can't wait to like get a career and get the fuck out of here. But like, I don't know about you, but like when I reflect on it now, I'm like, those were actually like good times. And I know
Hmm.
like younger kids, like they don't want to do it, but, and I get it, it sucks. There's definitely days where you're like, you're dealing with stupid people or stupid management or whatever, but like you never really get away from that. So it's like, I made so many good friends working retail. I met my wife in retail, so it's like, I don't know, like it was just such a good time, and you just didn't care because it was like, I know I'm not going to be here forever. And you
Yep.
know, if you chose to stay, I'm not knocking it, but I don't know, I miss it sometimes. I don't know if I would ever go back. Like sometimes I think about it as like a part-time job, but
Yeah.
I just wish that like it wasn't such a commitment. Like I just wish Target would be like, here's our schedule. You want to work a shift, like pick
Put
this
your name
shift
on
and
the
just don't.
list. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's like I would do that just to make some side money, because like who isn't at these days? But
Yeah. I no, I totally relate to that. There are certainly days where I'm sitting at my desk and I'm thinking like, why did I ever leave the retail scene, man? I will say I had a very undesirable schedule in my last retail job. So I was like a night and weekend manager. And I closed the store. So
okay,
I had two
yeah,
days off in the middle of the week, but I worked Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And my shift was like 12 noon to 10 p.m. or something like that.
wow,
So that was a really shitty schedule. I didn't love it. I felt like I
it's the
missed out
worst
on a
one.
lot of times to
Yeah.
like, I don't know, enjoy life, be a 20 something year old. I don't know.
Hmm.
But what I do miss about retail is like if you dealt with a particularly difficult customer or an interaction or a situation that really just like made put you in a bad mood, or it was like really shitty to deal with, chances
Hmm.
are you were not going to see that customer again. And if they happen to be like a regular, it would at least be a couple weeks until they showed their face in the store again. And by then they probably would have forgotten and moved on with their life.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like if you're dealing with someone you don't like, or, you know, something in your caseload that you don't like, you're stuck with it. Like that's yours to own now until it's done. So
Hmm.
like you said, I kind of miss that. I don't really have to care so much attitude because each day was isolated to that day.
Right.
And then afterwards, you just kind of like dusted it off and you came in the next day and you started fresh.
Yeah, you took off your apron or whatever and your name
Yeah.
tag, and you're like, that's it. You're not going home with your.
Deuces.
Yeah, there's no like, ah, fuck, I gotta go like report to this guy tomorrow or whatever. Like there was none of
Right.
that. It was just like, pack out these boxes, organize the shelves,
Right.
call it a day. Yeah, but the 12 to 9, 12 to 10,
Ugh,
that is hell.
it's the
Because it's
worst.
like you have to, even if you woke up at like 6 a.m., you're still not having any kind of day.
No.
But
I used to be the one, and this is so not me now, so it's weird to think about. But like, if
Mhm.
you think about it, my night started at 10 o'clock. So I used to work next to a Target, and I would walk
Mhm.
to Target, and I would get a double shot of 5 hour energies, and I would shoot
Oh
a five
man.
hour energy, and then I would drive, meet up with my friends wherever they were at, and then I'd
Mhm.
be out until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd go home, I'd crash for a couple hours, and then I get ready to do
And
it all
back.
again. It felt particularly rough on the weekends when people would get together earlier. Like on the
Mhm.
weeknights, people weren't meeting up until 7, 8 o'clock anyway, because everybody was either working or going to
Yeah, so it
college or both,
didn't
whatever.
matter.
Right.
Yeah.
But Saturday and Sunday got rough. I was like, I cannot work. I can't work
Mhm.
weekends anymore. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean that was like the main thing. It was like I don't want to work weekends.
Yeah.
But having a weekday off is like sneaky
Has its
good
perks.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Cuz like there's days now where I'm like I just want to go to a coffee shop and listen to
Right.
some music, not type on a computer.
Or have you ever like gone grocery shopping at like 1 o'clock on a Tuesday? No one's
Yeah.
out.
Right.
It's great. Like you don't have to fight for parking spots. The cash register lines aren't crazy. You just kind of get in, do your thing, get out. It's very peaceful.
Yeah. Even doctor's appointments, it was so much more
I was gonna
easier.
I
Yeah,
was
to
gonna say the same
manage.
thing. Yep. Yep. Because Lord knows, doing that when you work a 9 to 5, it's like all of the hours cross over. Nobody can accommodate you after hours. So then you're either using PTO or you're like, hey, do you mind if I run to this doctor's appointment and take a long lunch? It's
Right,
ridiculous.
right.
It's ridiculous. There are some medical facilities that, like some dentist office I know, have a night of the week over here that they do
Yeah.
late hours.
Mhm.
So it's not impossible, but it's definitely easier if you've got a full weekday that you can plan those type of appointments and things around.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. My first retail job was Toys R Us, doing the video games, which was
Oh, okay.
whatever. Yeah. But then I ended up at Key Food doing like grocery and stuff. This is gonna sound terrible, but this is in Minecraft. At the supermarkets, people, whatever somebody was like, oh, I want like some honey buns, and they would just cut the box and be like, oh, it's damaged, and like everybody would just come eat it. When I wanted to, like when I closed, and it was like a manager, like half the managers I worked with were like getting hammered. This one guy didn't even try to hide it. He would work the 12 to 10 shift, like
Yeah.
I was like every Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever.
Okay.
He would take a 12 pack of cans, like the New York Post newspaper. He would wrap it
Yeah.
around it, tuck it like under himself, and he would just walk out. No, and nobody said anything, but it was like clear as day he stole it. And he
Yeah.
was, pale like me, so when he came back from lunch, he was bright red, and it wasn't sunny out, so like he didn't give a shit, and so I was like, I'm not gonna give a
Oh my
shit. So like
God.
we would open Italian bread, we'd make friends with the deli guys, and then they would give us like a sandwich. It was it was a free for all, but I had free food, so I didn't,
Yeah.
that was part of the experience. You're missing out, kids. But
I never worked grocery. I worked at Bath and Body Works first. That was my first retail job. And then I
okay,
graduated to Michael's Arts and Crafts.
okay,
Both are stores that I like still buy stuff from today. Not so
yeah,
much Bath and Body Works. I have to tell you, working there for a couple years and like smelling everything on a regular basis
yeah,
will
yeah.
kind of turn you off to the fragrance world. I still do like some of their aromatherapy stuff. Like that line is pretty good.
Okay,
And I like their candles. Their big 3-wick candles are very good. But Michael's, me and Brandon are in Michael's at least
all the time.
2-3 times a year. Yeah, because we always get their Limax collection pieces for Halloween and for Christmas. And if you need anything, if you're baking something specialty or you need picture frames of a certain dimension or you need something framed.
There,
yeah, they've got a lot of really good stuff in there. So
even sports memorabilia, if you're a collector, they have a lot of that stuff, like cases.
Oh, do they really? Oh, like the shadow boxing and stuff? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Your pop figures.
But when I worked there, I had a problem. Like, I would get a paycheck and then I'd be like, what can I buy from the shelves today? Because they gave a decent friends and family discount, and they always had coupons and stuff running, so it was very easy to end up buying a whole mess of stuff that I absolutely had no need for.
Yeah,
just not.
Yeah, that was like me at H&M. My whole paycheck just went to
whatever
was on sale. So Staples is and Party City. Party City's gonna be in Staples. They worked on some kind of agreement, I guess.
Oh,
so
that's exciting! No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just heard that today. It's pretty cool. It's nice to see something survive.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like brick and mortar is dying a slow death.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I never want to go into a physical store. It has to be a very particular thing that I'm buying for me to care enough to go and physically buy it at a place. Normally, I go online and I ship it to myself and then I move on.
I'm 50-50 on it, because on one hand, if it's something like Amazon, okay, you can order it and it's fine. You could just always return it. But places where it's $15 to send back, and then you're not getting the full refund
that's fair.
back. That's tough. But yeah, I do agree. It's dying, and then it's just I don't know how some of these places last. I don't know how GameStop is still around.
Yeah.
I don't know how
yeah.
Even these why are there so many fucking cookie store popping up? I don't understand it.
That is a question for the ages. I have to agree with you. I don't get it.
It's once the novelty is done, who's going there frequently?
So
Crumble is opening up everywhere.
I know. I remember the first time I ran into an Insomnia cookie. Have you ever gone to or seen Insomnia? All right.
No.
So their whole shtick, at least when I first heard of them, they were placing themselves in college towns, and they're called Insomnia Cookie because they're all open until 3 or 4 in the morning, something crazy. So their whole bit was when you're cramming for a test in college, we got you, come for a sweet treat in the middle of the night. And I thought that was very novel and very cute, because sometimes cookies are like grilled cheese to me. I am perfectly capable of whipping it up myself, but for some reason, sometimes it tastes better if it's hot and someone else made it for me.
Right.
So I thought that was a really cute idea. But now, there's Crumble, there's what is it?
Chip City.
Yeah, there's a couple of really fancy ones I know in New York City, there's a couple that I've seen pop up. I can't recall the names right now. But it's what are we speed running? I don't know, the cookie takeover of the world? I don't really understand.
Right, and it's
are cookies in that high of a demand? Somebody shout us out.
That's what I'm saying.
Shout out in the comments. We don't really understand what all the hype about cookies is.
Yeah, because and everything you hear about Crumble is it's got loads of sugar. It's
oh,
each
they're
cookie
terrible
has
for you.
Yeah, over the daily calorie intake. So it's I thought we were on this health
per
trend.
Cookie.
What happened here?
And here's the thing. So what I do love about something like that is I don't think everything should be it's above your daily, fun food budget. Listen, there should be legitimate establishments that you can go when you're just looking to treat yourself. Be that a Dunkin' Donuts, be that a Krispy Kreme, be that a Crumble cookie, whatever your thing is, be it an ice cream parlor, whatever. So I do appreciate from the perspective that not everything has to be made of cottage cheese or cauliflower or some health food item. I really do appreciate that there are still businesses thriving that are based in indulgence and decadence and treating yourself. I think that's really important. However, when did the item that people want to indulge on exclusively become a cookie? That's what I'm struggling with. Like, go to a bakery. Bakeries have existed forever, and they have very good cookies as well. I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make it, and it's funny because it used to be donuts for a while,
Yeah.
and then it like just now we're out on donuts. Bring us the cookies now.
Yeah, everyone's sick of it. We're all donutted out. We need something new. I will say, I think ice cream is the one thing that will never go out of style. Like, you're always seeing new ice cream parlors and frozen yogurt trends and things like that popping up, and they are alive and well. And I don't think the ice cream sundae or like the frozen novelty will ever go out of style. I think that is an age old, you want to treat yourself, go get some ice cream.
Yeah. I mean, I love ice cream. So
I do too.
And the mom and pop spots are like always fun. I always loved Carvel Lanch birthday cake.
Oh my God. Carvel was my jam for years.
So good.
I am convinced that I kept the lights on at my local Carvel because of how frequently I was in there. I would skip dinner when I was in college on a regular basis. I would skip dinner and I would get a non-fat ice cream sundae from Carvel. But
would you rather have Carvel or Mr. Softy?
Carvel.
Yeah. Mr. Softy did rule for a while. You heard that music coming on, it was like crack to kids, right?
I think I had Mr. Softy maybe twice in my whole life. My parents weren't big on the ice cream man when I was growing up, but they were big on Carvel. I grew up a Carvel gal, so
Fudgy the Whale.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Every family event, we were either having freaking cannoli cake or it was a Carvel cake. Those were the two options at my family functions.
Yeah, it was either that or Friendly's the watermelon.
Oh, the watermelon roll. Yes.
That was so good. Better than the orange one.
I should shout out, I had one aunt growing up, phenomenal cook and phenomenal baker. And those were the events where we got unorthodox. Like, she used to make her own homemade ice cream sundae cake situation. Wow. And people would go ballistic when she made, rightfully so, it was amazing. But those were like the special cake events if she made a cake for your birthday. But typically it was cannoli cake or it was Carvel ice cream cake.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is fun stuff. Family gatherings.
Yeah, we've kind of come full circle. We're back at the family gatherings.
Yeah. So, Mrs. Doubtfire. Let's jump into it a little bit here.
Let's do it.
Like I said, we're fresh off spooky season. We've done a lot. We did about 5 movies. It was a fun ride, and now we're gonna transition, and we're keep building on this pod here. But yeah, so while we're on those 90s topic, Mrs. Doubtfire, I think I don't know if it was just kids, adults, but it's a classic movie. And
for sure.
I was just curious to see, because there's such heavy themes, with like love, divorce and stuff. Like, does it still hold up? Does it feel different now being adults? Because I can't even tell you the last time I did actually watch it. I think I was like, I had to have been before I was a teenager. So
yeah.
Ratings wise, it's still holding up pretty well. I don't know who's really jumping on to sabotage it, but Rotten Tomatoes is 71. Popcorn has it at 77. Metacritic has it at a 54. User is a 7.6. And IMDb is a 7.1.
All right, so Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and the audience score on Metacritic are pretty consistent.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
Interestingly enough, you just posed 2 questions. Does it hold up, and does it hit different watching it as an adult? For me, it definitely still holds up as a classic, even if it's solely from a nostalgia perspective. I think Robin Williams was one of the most comedically brilliant souls that ever graced this earth. The same parts that made me laugh when I was like 8 had me cracking up when we watched it yesterday in preparation for this episode. Mm-hmm. But it definitely hit different as a movie.
Oh, for sure.
Watching it now versus watching it as a small child. Like, I don't remember the first act, if you will, being so sad. But I was so sad watching the first like 25 to 30 minutes of that movie. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's worth disclaiming, part of that sadness might just be feeling the loss of Robin Williams, like seeing his face and realizing that we haven't been graced with his presence in media or in film or at all since his passing. So that makes it hit a little bit different in and of itself, that, you know, he's not here anymore, and just feeling the weight of that and really watching it with a different lens and appreciating what he brought and what he left behind as his legacy. But I don't know, you tell me, like, how did you feel watching the first chunk, we'll call it the first third?
So I thought I agree. It was very heavy, and I feel like it took a good amount of time to get to the comedic elements of the movie. Because, like, it's not even like the beginning with the birthday party. Like, it's not like you really found that funny. I mean,
no.
I thought the amount of kids in that house was insane.
Bananas,
and,
yeah.
And, like, it was, like, random, like, 4 and 5 year olds. I'm like, who's your son friends with at this point? Which, I don't know about you, but I never had, like, a child birthday party for myself. So this was, like, seeing that as a kid, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I remember that. But, like, now I'm like, that's a little much, man.
Yeah. She, listen, our girl Sally Field is a rough watch in this movie. She, you can see where she's coming from, and she definitely has to be the hammer, to Daniel's, like, complete frenetic, chaotic, spontaneous energy. But speaking as someone who did have some birthday parties as a child, nothing ever like a modest, you know, some pizza was had and enjoyed by all, some cupcakes were served. My parents were big on, like, we'll go to the bowling alley, or, like, there used to be those places where you could, like, go and paint ceramics or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
But, like, I never had more than a handful, literally like 5 or 6 people there.
Right.
And that would include, like, my sister, my cousin, you know, the people that were my sisters and my best friends growing up. They were a part of that small group. And then it would be like a peppering of kids that I was friends with from school. But seeing a house full of kids running around like that was a little too much for me to handle.
You know, it's like, it's crazy because, so I was always given the choice. It was like, do you want a birthday party or do you want presents? Because you can't get both. So, like, I always elected, obviously you're a kid, you elect for presents.
Yeah.
But, like, now when I look back, like, I can barely remember any, like, birthday that
Gifts.
I had. Yeah, and any of the gifts I got. But, like, I remember the cool birthday parties because it was like you said, there was, like, that ceramics one, which was like, this is awesome. I used to paint Ninja Turtles. But then there was, like, I had one, like, a family friends, and they threw a lot of birthday parties, and they did this one, I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but, like, they took you into the back of, like, a pizzeria, and there was, like, long tables, and you got to, like, make your own personal pizza.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and and I remember that distinctly. I'm like, I can't even remember a fucking action figure or whatever else I got, but I remember this, like, so well. And then but yeah, it was crazy to say, and I do like or the arcade, of course. There was always that in the bowling alley. The bowling alley was a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
one for the 90s, but
Yeah, shout out
yeah.
to all the bowling kids out there. I still love the bowling alley to this day.
So
If
do
you hit
I.
me up and you're like, you want to go bowling? I'm like, yes. Say when.
I feel like they're coming back a little bit. They were dying
Well,
for a
now they have
while.
like full bars in them. It's wild. Like
Yeah.
the bowling alley is also the club. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of fun, but it's a little strange.
Yeah. Well, they gotta get the adults in.
Yeah.
The kids who grew up on it as their birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the beginning of the movie, it definitely hit different this time for me. And I do feel like it took a long time to kind of even get to the
Get
comedic
funny.
parts.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And there were like you said, the funny parts that I remember as a kid still, like, I was hysterically laughing, like the cake on the face and throwing the lime. But overall, I still felt bad for him, and I felt bad for the whole situation, because it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, even as an adult, like, he's clearly struggling being a father, like losing his wife, even like careers. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was part of the building of this podcast, was like, I want to know how people's careers went, because like I don't
Yeah.
like where mine went. So it's like I just felt like I leveled with him, like he's going through it.
I also think it's tough to watch, the scene where Sally Field tells him, I want a divorce in their kitchen. It hits different when you're in a committed relationship, or if you're married, or you're in some kind of long-term partnership or relationship, because I remember watching that when I was little, and like some part of my brain understood that was sad.
Yeah.
And like my parents fought when I was a kid. I was no stranger. It's not like I grew up in this perfect household. But from a personal level, I was like, yeah, that probably sucks. Whereas watching it now, I'm like, I can't imagine how I'd react if my spouse said that to me. Like, I don't think my brain or my heart would be able to process that. I think I would literally have a nervous breakdown. I don't know.
Yeah.
So kind of watching his emotions as he realizes, like, he's not going to be able to talk his way or apologize out of this one. Like, it's over for real. I don't know. That was a very different watch from this lens than when I was younger, for sure.
Yeah. I will say, like, I didn't really find their supposed love to be that believable to me. Like, I feel like she was just like, she got upset over the party, which is understandable, and it was just like, I want a divorce, and it was just like, oh, okay. But
well, that's the other piece about like 90s movies, is I feel like they don't build up the lore so much. Like, we're literally thrown into that first scene with the birthday party, and then she asks for a divorce, and at some point she says something to the effect of like, he's like, oh, we've got problems, but we'll work them out. And she says, we've been trying to work them out for 14 years. So there's the implication that there has been a rift between them for some time, or that their marriage has been struggling. But like, I feel like in a movie today, we would get 8 scenes of exposition to show us that before we got there. Whereas here, we're just kind of thrown into it. And it's like, you're intended to use context clues to piece together that this has kind of been a failing relationship for some time.
yeah. It is interesting too that like a lot of the time in the 90s movies, it was like always like the person that overworks too much, and like it's usually the other person that leaves, so you're kind of getting like a different perspective. And it's usually always like some kind of story where it's like, oh, like let the love work out, where it's not really so much about him getting back together. It's like him just wanting to be a father and like be present in his kids' lives.
Right.
Which, being a father, like I respect that for sure. But yeah, do you think it's like him as Mrs. Doubtfire? Do you think that was too much like of a risk move to do.
So, all right, let's talk about this from a real perspective. Like, from a movie magic perspective, was it a very clever plot device? Yes.
Yeah.
Did it make sense in the context of the story because he is an actor and his brother is a makeup artist and all that stuff? Sure. But do I think that would ever work in reality? No. I think
No
that
shot.
was an insanely risky thing to do. And while I understand the theme of like, I lost my children, I need to be with my children, I will do anything to make that my reality. The other thing about that whole thing, wait, we just got to talk about this for a second. So the whole way that Robin Williams gets the gig as Mrs. Doubtfire is he asks Miranda, can I see the ad that you're going to put in the paper for this housekeeper? And when she's not looking, he changes the phone number. You really mean to tell me that this woman, who has done nothing but crucify her ex-husband to this point, let him have the thing and then didn't give it a once-over before she handed it over to the newspaper? Are you kidding me? The whole plot of the movie would have been avoided had she just done that.
Right. But also, like, the one digit off, like,
yeah,
that was a easy workout there.
I can't. And, like, also, wouldn't you find it a little bit odd if the only calls you were getting until that one call were a bunch of, like, freaks of nature? Like,
Yeah.
Robin Williams was really going out of his way to ham it up that these people were like a disaster scenario that could never be allowed around kids or in someone else's home. That would make you think like maybe I should take a look at the ad I ran, like maybe it's me, maybe I'm the problem, and then you'd realize the phone number was wrong. I don't know. That just seems very odd to me, but
yeah. And also it didn't make sense because like she divorced, she got sick of him, but it's never like she was like, oh, he was a terrible father. So it just like didn't make sense to me. Like, why wouldn't you just let him work his job and then take care of the kids, like until you got home, or let them stay at his house? Like, I don't know, that part didn't make sense.
No, it's so true. It's like that seemed like a pure spite move. Like, I'm mad at you and I'm hurt right now. So, but there was never an implication that she had any feeling that he wasn't a good dad or he was a danger to the kids or whatever. So that would have been the easiest solution. He literally said, just let me take him for a couple hours. All she would have had to do is say, okay, sure.
Right. And the best too is like when she's like, oh, I love having Miss Doubtfire around. I even like come home from work early, and it's like early because like everything's fucking done for you. Like all the chores and the cooking is done. So I would be home early too. Like,
I also think it's crazy that through all of the conversations they had, being up close with this person, like you never once were like, I know this person. I don't know. I find that he must have been one hell of an actor because I feel like I would have known. I don't think I could be tricked for that long.
Yeah. I would be exposed in like 3 seconds. There's
and like
so many voices I could do.
Yeah. Well, the way he acted around Stu, around Pierce Brosnan's character, and the way he talked to her as Mrs. Doubtfire about like, oh, it's too soon to be dating, or like, oh, wear this frock to your birthday dinner, like don't wear anything too risque. Like, nothing would tip you off in combination with all of the other context clues here that maybe you know this person, maybe this is your ex-husband who you were with for clearly a very long period of time. I don't know. It's very, very odd.
I'd also like to know if it's what really happens. Like the lady that came over to his house to inspect to see if it's like livable conditions, because it's like they already had the court order about like how it was going to be broken down. So why is that needed? I don't know. I thought that was like a little odd, but like the other thing was like the son catching him in the bathroom. Like that would still fuck me up. Like,
oh yeah.
You know, like I don't know. That would be hard to unsee for a while. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like that kid would need some therapy for sure.
Well, I mean, these poor kids, they go through so much. They go through like their parents splitting up, then having to deal with, getting to know Mrs. Doubtfire and getting comfortable with her, then
Hmm.
realizing they've been gaslit for a month and that's actually their dad in a costume,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Um, and then, the whole debacle at the restaurant when it becomes uncovered that Mrs. Doubtfire is Daniel.
Mm.
These kids need extensive therapy. Extensive. They're not going to be over this for years.
Right. Especially the young one.
Yeah. Oh my
Matilda,
God,
no.
Natty? It's over for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that she
But
was
I
like in
mean,
Matilda, but yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think they did a very good job with the child actors of really giving what I feel is a realistic portrayal of I think how kids would process their parents splitting up like that.
Yeah.
In like the most broad way to cover all the different types of emotions you can be feeling. Like, obviously, some are going to feel a lot more angst and resentment and anger. Some are going to feel way more sad and introverted and depressed. Um,
Right.
some people actually are grateful when something like that happens because the house is just so broken and so toxic that when
Right.
that energy is not in the picture anymore, like it actually becomes a healthier environment for them as a whole. So
Mhm.
divorce and dealing with parents who don't get along or a broken home and in whatever stage of broken that may be.
Right.
That's a really, really, really difficult thing on a kid. And it's a really, really hard thing to navigate when you're trying to fucking learn who you are and like grow up and try to fit in not just, in the context of your family and in your household, but in the grander scope of society. It gets very difficult to process much of anything when you're dealing with that at home too. And I think,
Yeah.
you had Chris who was kind of he portrayed the role of like this is my fault. If I didn't have a birthday, this never would have happened, and kind of
Mhm.
internalizing the guilt over the fact that the two split up. You've got Lydia who kind of is the angsty like I'm
The
angry
angsty
one. Like,
teenager. Yeah.
yeah, like you both
Mhm.
need to get it together. You need to try harder. You need to do better. And then you have Natty who, she's caught up in she's not really understanding what's going on. She just wants mommy and daddy to get along and for everything to be normal again.
Right.
So I think having the three of them and kind of having them convey that different span of emotion was very effective
Mhm.
because I feel like it made it relatable to a much broader audience than had you only gone with like one type of reaction to everything and the way it was happening.
Yeah, I agree. I do like that. It gave you a little of every kind of dose of stages of childhood and
Right.
whatever, and it it was definitely accurate, I would say. I mean, I fall in the boat of like the son because I was around that age when it happened with my parents, and you just really don't like. It doesn't make sense in your head, and you're like going into your teen years. You don't even know yourself. Like there's all these chemicals and emotions, and things are changing around you. So like you can't like process it with like sense in a way. Like there's no like the reality doesn't add up in like for me it didn't. Um and then like as you get older, like when I was in college, then it like started to click for me like I don't know what the word is. Like you didn't have like a connection, like you're not even the same kind of person in a way. Like you're kind
Yeah.
of not opposites, but like I can see like where it wouldn't work. Um but yeah, I did like that part a lot. I do think there is like the struggle always like with the father and the mother, like how to like handle, going forward. Miranda like moving on to the to Stuart was like just a weird throw in too. Like
Well, That was another weird thing they kind of set up early on in the movie. So in the first scene, before the birthday party even, her boss comes in and is like, "Oh, Stu he asked for you specifically to help design his $500 a night bed and breakfast, whatever." And I think at one point when she's meeting with him, there's an implication that they did date at some point in the past. Like they were old ex-lovers of some kind and it didn't work out. And now he's working his way back into her life. But what I found weird in the first scene is before they let you know that things are on the rocks with her husband and things are not going great and, you know, we're heading towards this imminent divorce, when Stu's name gets brought up, she like brightens up and she like can't focus and pay attention. And it almost like it gives you the sneak peek to the fact that she's obviously, her heart is not fully in her marriage right now.
Right.
Because I can't fathom someone bringing up like an ex to me, like, oh, you know, so-and-so is going to be at this party, and me being like, oh my God, really? Yeah. My reaction would either be, great, thanks for the heads up, I'm not going, or, oh, okay, cool, I'll see him then, that's great. Like, I can't imagine being committed to a person and then getting so easily distracted by the thought of someone else, especially if it was someone who you had a history with in your past. That was a weird, like, throw in very early on in the movie that you kind of are forced to, like, piece the breadcrumbs together yourself to figure out what the hell that even meant as the movie progresses.
Yeah. It's also, like, big. It's, like, back in those 90s, like, because it was 93, it's like divorce was so frowned upon.
Yeah,
like, even then at that point. So it's like to have that in this, like, I don't know, what do you say, like romantic comedy, but like not really romantic. Just dramedy, I guess. Like,
yeah, family dramedy, I guess, is what you would call it. Yeah.
It's pretty wild for 93. Robin Williams was just great on it. Just between his comedy elements, even the emotions of sadness that he was feeling, and like when he was talking, when she was like, all right, it's over, and the divorce, it like really does like hit you. Like, this guy was just so good, and he was just so talented. But I'll get into some fun facts here. So Tim Allen was offered Daniel and Stu, but he turned down both of them. Both of the roles.
Really?
He didn't want to do it. Yeah. I'm surprised.
Huh. That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So it's based on a book, Alias Madame Doubtfire, by Anne Fine. It's a British author. I didn't know it was a book. I think it's a play now, too. Yeah.
Oh.
Blake Lively had auditioned for Natalie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Over 30 minutes were cut between initial and final cut. If left in, the movie would have been 157 minutes long.
Damn.
Yeah, there were
That's
3
long.
cuts to the movie. Yeah. There was a PG, a PG-13, and an R-rated cut of the movie. It did win an Oscar for Best Makeup at the Academy Awards. Pretty heavy. Pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Which is, you know,
it's shocking really how heavy it was.
But
yeah.
It just, it was hard to really say. I can't really say it's a comedy to me. Like,
well, you read my
outside. I mean, there's parts, of course, but
if you look up Mrs. Doubtfire, it is classified as a family comedy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it that way.
I mean, I guess if you think about the broader runtime of the entirety of the movie, a lot more of it, once he transforms into Mrs. Doubtfire, really does lean comedy over anything else. So I guess on the whole, call it a family comedy, whatever you want. But I do think the points of heaviness and family drama and all of that are so poignant that it's odd to me that drama doesn't work its way anywhere into the conversation. But also you got to remember at that time, like Robin Williams was at the peak of his career as a comedy actor and a comedian. So he was in it. They're probably like, we have to brand this a comedy or no one's going to come see it, you know?
Right.
That's like, do you remember Jim Carrey went through a phase? I want to say it was outside of the 90s. It was probably in the 2000s. But he started taking like almost exclusively serious roles. And I thought he was very good in them. Most of his more serious movies I enjoyed. But I feel like commercially, a lot of them were not hugely successful, at least not at first, because they were like, no, Jim Carrey's a comedy guy. Like, I don't want to go see him play a serious role. I want him to make me laugh.
It's always hard to, it seems like, to break that that narrative. Like I remember Matthew McConaughey was talking about, like, he like stopped acting for a few years because all he was getting was romantic comedies, and like he's like, I want a serious role. Yeah, so he bet on himself.
It's very.
Which is crazy.
I feel like when you're in the, I mean, God bless, that's awesome. I feel like it's hard, especially in the comedy space, to break out. Like, if you start in drama, people will let you do a comedy movie. They'll let you do a horror movie. They'll let you experiment. Because I feel like people associate drama movies with like, oh, they have range. They have acting range. Whereas, unfortunately, if you're a comedic actor, people kind of pigeonhole you into like, oh, you're funny. So that's what you do. You do funny. And that's it. Which, like you said, Robin Williams in this movie, like Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn is another one that, like, I feel like for at least some period of time was kind of typecast as, you know,
just a comedic actor.
Just the comedic relief in the movie. Yeah. But like you said with this movie, like, you can even see in Robin Williams acting across the different scenes that there was a lot of range in the emotion he was able to convey and what he was able to make the audience feel in doing so. So it's kind of unfair to some actors that they get typecast into a strict type of role, because many of the actors out there have a very wide range and they can be successful across multiple genres and in different types of acting situations. They usually get typecast or put into one specific type of role because that's what they're known for. And there's no chance they're not going to be good at it. Whereas if you let them kind of go outside their comfort zone, technically, I guess that is a risk because you don't know if it's going to be well received or not. Yeah,
and then it's like you also can run the risk if you just like keep turning down the roles and you don't get a serious one.
Right.
Like your career could be over. Like there's so many people that are like pushing.
Right.
All right, so like rating wise, how do you feel?
I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire, no shot doesn't get a clear sky from my perspective. It's a beloved movie. It has been one of my favorite movies since I was little. And it does still hold up today. It's something I will continue to rewatch for years to come. And I do think it does a really good job of balancing being very funny when it wants to be and really hitting home and teaching some important, valuable life lessons to younger audiences that are watching it when it takes the liberty of doing so. So overall, I think it's a solid film.
Yeah, I was kind of like in the mostly sunny / clear skies range. I think between like realizing it's like not as light as it used to be from when I remember. But just like the inconsistencies I felt like with the dynamic between Miranda and Daniel like threw me off a little bit. But overall I think it's still a good movie. I think it holds up. I think it does perfectly kind of portray like a family going through divorce. I mean, minus a father dressing up like a maid, but
father taking on completely new identity and gaslighting his whole family that he's trying to get back. It's crazy. If you could look past all that, but how about also the fact that like, so okay. Right after divorce mode, Daniel says, let me take the kids for a couple hours after school. No.
Right.
Miranda spends some time with Mrs. Doubtfire, realizes Mrs. Doubtfire is the best thing that ever happened to me, which is actually my ex-husband. All for the movie to end with her being like, your dad's going to take you for a couple hours every day after school. It's like, we could have just done this from day one. We could have done this.
And this is what, like, it doesn't make any sense. And then in the court, she doesn't say anything. Like, she could have been like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm mad at him, and this was an incredibly bizarre thing that he did, but he's still a good dad, and I understand why he did it, and you don't need to only give him supervised visitation once a week.
And then she was, like, mad because, like, they thought, oh, there was a female in his house. Like, oh, she's probably ugly or whatever. And it's like, well, you're dating somebody.
Yeah, you're dating someone else too, right?
And, like, all hints of the movie were, like, that you were done with him. So I don't know.
Right. What the hell do you care if he has another woman staying with him? What is it any of your business?
So, yeah, a little bit more serious on this side of this episode, but definitely interesting. You know, like, we like to switch it up. Not always comedy, but yeah, so the next one's going to be Thanksgiving, the horror movie. Steph has not watched it. I have seen it once.
I have not. Yeah, this is going to be a first. This is going to be a first time watch for me.
So we'll check it out. We'll let you know. We'll get into some, Thanksgiving favorites and traditions and all that jazz. But Steph, you have anything else?
No, it was really fun revisiting yet another, movie
90s.
Blast from the past from our youth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as always, we thank you for listening. We thank you for, being here with us, being part of the conversation. Please feel free to, shout us out. Let us know what you want to watch next. We are at Pop and Pos Pod on Instagram, or send us an email, popcornandpossibilities@gmail.com.
Yeah, don't be afraid. We actually have done our first interview, and it's a really, really good one, so we are excited. And if you want to tell your story, please just reach out to us, let us know. For now, we'll see you in a few weeks, and stay safe and have a good old time.
Bye.